All right, let's get started. My name is Alan C. I'm the CEO of New Kingdom Entertainments. Uh, I don't know everything, but I do know a lot of things, and I am a work in progress. Uh, it's been a minute since I've done my podcast. This is my podcast. Be quiet, grown folks is talking, and it's crazy. I pay a lot of money for the software to do this podcast with, and the equipment and stuff. I don't use it as much as I want to. I should, because every time I turn around, I have a subject I want to talk about. Some other dumbness happens, and it changes my focus. So anyway, I'm about to play a video from Dr. Richie. Man, I really respect. I stumbled onto him about a year ago, and his content, his show, Indisputable. Most of the content is about police interactions and interaction with public officials, and uh, there seems to be a lot of corruption, and he points it out. He doesn't pull any punches. He ain't the one to be played with. His show was at one time, I don't know if it still is, the fastest growing show anywhere, network television, internet, whatever platform you may be getting your news from, your information from. Uh, he's definitely a very smart man. So I'm gonna play this video, and then I'll opine as he says after it.
I thought, you know, since this was Florida, remember? They just passed a mandate mandating what? Slavery be taught in one context, that it benefited Black people. I thought, since this was done by way of a public vote by government officials, that you should know who these government officials are. Let's put them up full mass. State Board of Education members, the chair is Ben Gibson, who happens to be an attorney at law. Ben Gibson believes that slavery should be taught to middle schoolers in particular as a great benefit to Black people in America. Ben has been active in this organization since 2017. He was appointed twice by the current governor and confirmed by the Florida Senate. Also, Vice Chair Ryan Petty was appointed by Governor DeSantis, to the board in January 2020. Per Gibson's bio on the Department of Education site, it says, growing up, the son of two licensed mental health counselors, Ben is passionate about ensuring that the mental health needs of Florida students are a top priority. He believes that every student should have the same opportunity to learn, and parents should have meaningful educational choices and input regarding their child's education, regardless of where they live in Florida or their family's economic situation. He is a strong advocate for empowering parents to make the best educational choices for their children. Now, I do find it ironic that Black parents and white parents, frankly, and all parents who oppose the new mandate, why is it that their opposition of this new curriculum mandate, why is it that their proclamations are not heard? Why do they not get choice here? Why are they not able to eliminate the curriculum like two white parents were able to do as it relates to African American studies? There's more. Per Petty's bio on the Department of Education site, Ryan lost his daughter Elena in a tragic school shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School on Valentine's Day 2018. Elena was one of 17 students and teachers killed. Since the tragedy that took their daughter, Ryan and his wife Kelly have been actively involved in the public policy arena as advocates for improving school safety through early identification and intervention of potential threats. Let's put up the rest of the cast of characters. You're looking at 5 Karens who were appointed to the Florida Board of Education. You have left to right Monesia T. Brown, the Director of Public Affairs and Government Relations for Walmart Incorporated. That's a regular job. Esther Bird is a legal assistant, okay? And Dr. Grazi Pazzo Christie is a radiologist. Bottom left to right, you have Kelly Garcia, who is a school teacher, and Marilyn Magar, former GOP member and Speaker pro tem of the Florida House of Representatives. Magar's stance on education was supporting more accountability and choice in the Florida education system. All board members are, in fact, parents. Esther Bird stirred controversy when she tweeted about the January 6th riot, the terrorist attack at the US Capitol a year before her appointment. The tweet read, "In the coming civil wars." Did you hear me? In the coming civil wars, we the people versus the radical left, and we the people cleaning up the Republican Party. Team rosters are being filled. Every selected official in DC will pick one. There are only 2 teams, with us or against us. This individual is appointed to the Florida Board of Education, has openly called for civil war, has openly called for war against this very country. There's more. Meanwhile, the only teacher on the board, all right, let's put it up. Kelly Garcia was appointed to the State Board of Education by Governor DeSantis in March of 2023 after serving on the Board of Trustees of the Florida Virtual School. She is, in fact, a Florida certified teacher from Tampa with a decade of experience teaching in charter public and private schools. She has worked in education policy with Michelle Rhee's organization, Students First, where she collaborated with the Urban League and Foundation for Florida's Future. It is a damn shame, madam. You have given all of those organizations a bad name, and those that already had a bad name, you just gave them a worse one. Who's in charge of this? Put him up. Just Satan himself. The new history standards approved Wednesday were, as NBC South Florida reported, the updates to the African American history curriculum required by the controversial 2022 law DeSantis dubbed the Stop Wrongs to Our Kids and Employees Act. It's called the Stop Woke Act, in short. As I have said before, these individuals are not playing checkers, they're playing chess. Democrats are still responding by and large as if this is one move and you make a counter move. They make another move and you make a counter move. This is not the game they are playing. Democrats need to wake up. They're playing a game of chess. The strategy involved, you have to remember, they started on these laws in 2020, 2021. These laws are stacking on top of each other, allowing for the next law to be given. But without the previous law, the new law would not be possible. Let me explain. Without the 2022 Stop Woke Act, you do not have the legal framework to implement such a ridiculous mandate inside of public education. But with the Stop Woke Act of 2022, you provide the perfect framework in order to present such an adverse educational policy.
So I was actually talking about this earlier on my stream, and it's just really interesting how Ron DeSantis, I mean, he's the governor, so ultimately the buck stops with him, but he's more and more becoming the face of everything that's wrong with Florida, and how since he's been in office, Florida has just been moving at light speed to do everything that could possibly be unpopular. I mean, some of the ahistorical points were like, well, slavery taught African Americans some skills, and those carried into the new generations, or that, well, there actually was a little bit of violence on the other side as well. Like, well, violence for what? To defend themselves, or the rebellions to try to free themselves? It's completely ridiculous for people who claim to not even want critical race theory to be in school, for them to go through this drastic of a length to rewrite history. Especially, too, people who do this really don't know that much about what they're trying to get at. Because the thing about slavery is it's much bigger than the United States. It's a human condition. It's part of what we do to one another, which is part of why it's so important to be involved in the political process, because while humans have very ugly and negative sides of us, we have very beautiful and good sides of us as well. We got to keep ourselves in check. But the more we learn about history, slavery rather, how it's functioned throughout history, how it's built the world throughout time, the more you understand us, ourselves, and the human condition. So pretending like slavery wasn't as gruesome as it was and always has been, as if Google doesn't exist, like what, stop people in Florida from getting on Google? How far are you really going to take this? So
Yeah, and one of the realities is that it will likely connect to other states. Other states will look at the Florida model, and they will start to implement a similar model themselves. And remember, this is to stop the future problem solvers from knowing there is a problem to solve.
All right, so I went through something the last couple of days, and I was very disappointed in someone I thought I knew, their response to the right to do certain things. And they basically said that your rights can be violated because of how things are in this day and time. And police have a habit of saying that. I've seen mad videos and everything when police use that same phrase to violate people's right, as an excuse to violate people's right. And most of the time, those people were black people. So this is the thing. Before I decided to do this podcast on this very subject about what DeSantis has done down in Florida, the travesty, the clownish, it's just some clowns mess. And he's getting away with it. And black folks and Democrats who say they represent black folks are not saying or doing enough about it. That little speech Kamala Harris made the other day is nothing. And I know I might get some backlash from this, but I have to say it. If this was Jews being told that the Holocaust would benefit to Jews, they would lose their mind. The whole world, everybody would lose their minds. But because it's black people that's being disrespected and treated like this, it don't really seem to be no big thing. So that's why, to be honest, I'm on a new level. I'm not taking any disrespect from anybody, nobody, and that goes especially for people that work for the government in any capacity. I don't care what they do for the state, federal, or local government. I'm not taking no crap from them whatsoever. And anybody that thinks it's okay to take crap from any government official because of the days and times, y'all can miss me with that. Because I'm not tolerating nobody's nonsense. Black people did not benefit from slavery. That shit is insane. And for this man to be allowed to say that and to mandate that teachers in Florida teach that is insane. And the fact that it seems to be, I've been asking quite a few black folks about this, and they don't seem to know, understand what's going on. And it's sad. They don't understand, like I said in previous podcasts, every time they take away one right or one law, every time they do something foul, they setting it up. They setting up to do something even worse. Like I told people, Roe v. Wade, overturning Roe v. Wade was not about abortion. It was about taking your rights away, setting you up slowly for surely. We're like frogs being boiled in a pot. Slowly, surely, we're being boiled to death. Our rights will be taken away from us, and I just don't see the emergency that in this that this is. Like I don't see black folks. I don't see Democrats seeing the emergency and everything that's going on right now. I have been appalled in the last 2 days realizing how little black folks know about the Constitution, about the laws of this land, about the law, period. Because you have a lot of black folks, and I don't understand it, running around thinking that they can't be filmed in public, that them and their children can't be filmed in public. Like somebody has to get their permission to film them in public. And that's the most insane, ridiculous thing that anybody could think or say. There's cameras everywhere. You're being filmed all the time. Google is filming you all the time. Every store you go into, every house you pass, almost every car you pass, you're being filmed. Your children are being filmed in the schools. Everything that they do is being filmed. So to say you don't want your child filmed is ludicrous. It's insane. And I wish you black folks would learn the laws and know that you can't do that. And I hope that every person that tries to stop somebody from filming in public, I hope they get just what they're looking for. Because they're looking to go to jail. Because when you try to stop somebody from filming in public, that's actually a federal crime. To try to stop somebody from filming in public, because it's a constitutional right that you could film anything you could see, anyone, anybody in public. Now, private is a wholly different thing. We ain't talking about private. We talking about in public. And that includes public buildings, public schools, public areas in school, and public areas in public buildings. And that even includes the police department. Because the police department is insane with that shit. They are hurting people and breaking people's arms and arresting people for filming in their lobbies, which is public. The police don't own the police station. And the fact that you have black folks that are allowing this and is okay with it and will make excuses for it is insane. Negroes, we need to, I hate to say, like, Negroes need to wake up. Wake up. Pay attention to what's going on. I know when it's not directly affecting you, you don't really care until it does. But wake up. The law is the law. Follow the law. You have rights. If your rights are if you're being deprived of your rights, that's a crime. That's a problem. I don't care how little the people that's doing it may think about it or anybody else. Your rights are very important. If you don't exercise them, if you don't know them, you're definitely going to lose them. And I don't have time for any clown that thinks it's okay for your rights to be violated because of public safety or because of security when our schools are not secure. Most schools, you can just walk right into it because they're public buildings. So you're supposed to be able to just walk in them. Now, you should have business in there. And if you have a child that goes to that school, anytime you walk into that building, you have business there. So you have a right to be there. And I don't think school teachers and school administrators understand that, because I found out that most of them don't even understand the First Amendment. They're clueless. They don't understand the Second Amendment. Most people don't understand the Second Amendment. The third, they definitely don't know nothing about it. The fourth, they don't understand either. And the people that do understand something about the Fifth Amendment don't really understand the whole concept and the whole thing, because you got people and police walking around that think you have to talk to them. And the Fifth Amendment guarantees you don't have to talk to anyone if you don't want to. If you haven't done anything wrong, committed a crime, you don't have to talk to the police. I don't give a damn what they trying to find out or who they looking for. If you don't want to cooperate, you don't have to. So black people, please wake up. If you don't know the law, if you don't really understand and know the law, keep your mouth shut. You don't know what you're talking about. That goes for public official, police officer. I don't care who. If you don't know the law, and most people, I think, especially when it comes to police, they don't know the law and don't care to know the law and don't want to know the law, because they don't want to. They want to be able. They think they can do whatever they want to do. And I'm sick of it. That being said, I'm done, man. Learn the law, learn the concept, learn the rights that you have, and don't be violating anybody else's rights. Real simple. Leave people the fuck alone. Excuse me. Wow. I'll have to take that out. Leave people alone.